Good morning, welcome to Fairy and Spoiled. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to teach your puppy to walk nicely on the lead. Now I have picked about the worst day possible. It's pouring with rain and the wind's howling to record this video, but I'll give it my best shot. If it's rubbish, we'll just scrap it, but I'm going to show you what I do. Right, something that's really important is that when you're training your dog anything, you've got to make sure that you're nice and calm. It's very easy when you're training your dog that you might be a little bit fed up that they're not behaving or whatever. You've really got to make sure that your energy is good and that everything is nice and calm and nice and relaxed so that your dog will listen to you. So I'm going to use Harry here as my demonstrator today, my very muddy Harry. I'm just going to teach you how I get my dogs to walk nicely. Now, normally when I'm teaching a dog to do anything, I just use a one word, nice and clear, nice and simple. But when I'm teaching my dogs to walk on a lead, I use the words, good boy walking. And that is because puppies will, and any dog, will know the phrase good boy. And as soon as they come, so let me tell you what I'm going to do, and then I will demonstrate what I'm going to do. So what I do is, so imagine you've got a dog that only pulls on the lead, doesn't walk nicely at all. When you're walking along, at some point, whether it be because you've used a treat or you've made a noise or whatever, but at some point, as soon as the dog was walking next to you on the lead, and there's absolutely no tension in the lead, so the lead is nice and loose and he's walking next to you. He says next to you with a loose lead. I'll demonstrate that in a minute. The second he does that, you say to him, good boy, walking. So you good boy, walking. And then as you're walking along, and make sure the lead is nice and loose and the dog is next to you, and you keep repeating good boy walking, and you give them treats as you're doing it. I'll demonstrate that for you now. Right, so what you want is your dog to be walking nicely. So good boy walking, good boy walking. Now Harry's obviously trained in doing this, but this is what position you want. So a really nice lead. Harry, good boy walking. And you want your dog to be walking this nicely with you. So, and as he's doing it, good boy walking, Harry, good boy walking, good boy. Nice and energetic, nice and relaxed, be nice and calm, absolutely no tension in this lead whatsoever. And you want your dog to be staying next to you. Good boy walking, Harry, good boy. Good boy walking, very, very good boy. Good boy walking. A problem if, as I'm walking my dogs and they're on a short lead like this, if they do pull a little bit because they're having a sniff around. Now Harry's not going to do this because he knows we're in training mode. Oh, let's come now, Harry, come on, let's walk, good boy. So if my dogs are walking along and if they start sniffing around and he's pulling a little bit, I don't have a problem with that at all, as long as soon what I do is, so if they're pulling a bit and I'm not really, if they're pulling too much or anything like that, I shake my lead, and walk nicely. Yeah, good, walk nicely, good boy. Harry's not doing the best demonstrating here because he's in training mode, so he's very much fixed on me. So let me just demonstrate again. So imagine if we're walking along and if he was pulling on the lead more than I wanted him to, I'd walk nicely, good boy. Obviously that's not the greatest demonstration, so I'm just going to demonstrate again. So imagine if he's pulling more than I want, so you've taught him the good boy walking command. He's pulling more than you want, you don't want him to come, but this is really important. There is a difference between, sorry if the mic is picking up the wind, there is a difference between, so you've got good boy walking, which is this, I'll demonstrate. Good boy walking, Harry, good boy walking, good boy walking, that's great. And that is right next to you like that. So that was like if another dog was coming or something like that, right up to you there. If you just want loose lead walking, you just want them to be loose lead, they don't have to be next to you, they can be in front of you, they can be behind you, but you just don't want them just pulling too much. You don't mind them sniffing around, but you just want the lead to be nice and loose. Then I just do walk nicely, good boy. So it's two very different clear commands. So it's walk nicely. If you just want your dog loose, but you don't mind if they're sniffing around a bit, you don't even mind if they're pulling now and then, but it's just not constant bad pulling. But good boy walking, come on, good boy walking is next to you and walking really, really nicely. One more thing I just want to talk to you about is the treats that I use while I'm training. So I use tiny little treats. So you see those little square things there. They're actually called Dreamies and they're a cat treat. Cat treats are fine for dogs. They just have more protein in them, but they're absolutely fine. And I use them, or I use this, which is called Sizzlers, and they are basically really, really highly smelling, and you can break them into the tiniest little bits. And when I say tiny, sorry, can you hear my? Why are you crying, darling? What's wrong? Are you muddy and wet? We need to go home and get cozy, don't we? And you can break these into tiny little bits. Sometimes I even go smaller than that. If they're really highly, they smell really strong, and these do, they smell really strong. The dogs will take them, and then because the problem is when you're training any dog, you can give them so many treats, so it's really important. You don't want to do that. So that's what treats I use. So that is all done for today. My little gang here. We're going to go home and get dry and cozy because it's truly miserable out here today. As always, if you've got any questions, pop them into comments. You know where I am: Instagram, Twitter, all under Furry and Spoilt. And I will thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a great day. I hope it's drier and cozier than mine. I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.